You currently have neither Docker nor the paperless system. So now I'm going to start the program. And it detects that Docker Desktop does not appear to be installed or running. The Docker command is not working properly. Please make sure that Docker is installed and running. Install and start Docker Desktop. You will also be directed to the Docker Desktop download page. That means if you don't know that you actually need Docker Desktop, this little window here will let you know and automatically open the Docker Desktop download page. And here you can download Docker Desktop for the system you need it for. That's what I'm doing now, downloading it because I want to have paperless. Now the whole thing is installing Docker Desktop, doing its thing and setting everything up. The Docker Desktop installer basically handles all the updates by itself, as long as your computer supports virtualization. Once Docker Desktop is installed, at some point it's done installing. Now let's start Docker. It also takes a little moment before this virtual machine from Docker Desktop is actually started. It's basically a Linux container running on this Windows system, so let's open it up. Docker Desktop is there, the engine is running. Now I can go back into this program and say, let's do it again. I have now installed everything. So just start the software again. And now the installer, basically Docker, is installed and you can install Paperless. Welcome to the Paperless backup program from ComputerRalle. Of course, you can click on it and you'll end up on my website. But you don't have to. So welcome to the Paperless backup program. This notice is displayed at the first start and every 30 days. If your paperless contains a lot of documents, the backup will be correspondingly large. That's important to know. Select a folder as the destination that has enough storage space for the backup. That's clear, right? A folder called Paperless Backup Program will also be created in your user folder. In your user folder, this folder contains your personal settings. Do not delete it, otherwise all settings will be lost. That's clear too, right? You use the program at your own risk. That's clear as well. So now we'll do the following. We want to install Paperless because it's not there yet. It's not installed. Here is my Docker. So containers. There are no containers. Images, yes, those are still there. Otherwise, it would take forever to download the images that are in the compose file. There are no volumes either. This is basically a fresh installation. All right, I want to install Paperless. I click on this button. Done. Do you want to install Paperless now? Just to be sure. It asks again. Yes, I do. Then the Docker compose file is generated, saved, and started. The containers are either pulled if they're not already there. The images are pulled down, downloaded, unpacked, and then started. Paperless was successfully installed and started. You can now open Paperless in your browser. Give Paperless a little time to start up. Okay, now you can simply click up here. And then the new Paperless container, the new Paperless installation should open. If it doesn't open yet, just wait a little longer. Here, the blank installation is now opening. In the new Docker Compose, there are no admin accounts or accesses included anymore. Instead, if you are setting up a completely new, fresh installation, you now have to create an account here. This account will then have administrator rights. Yes, so this is now a completely fresh, blank installation. Very nice, so now my backup program is working again. Got the message, understood, done. Now I don't need to select a compose here anymore. It's automatically selected. It was created here. That's why the Docker Compose was created there and you don't need to worry about it. Now I can start a backup, which doesn't make much sense right now because it's a completely fresh new installation. But now I want to restore a backup. I can do that directly, restore backup. And then I grab the Paperless backup from my drive. There's my backup. And then install it. It takes a moment again now, since my Paperless was stopped with this absolutely fresh blank installation. That takes a few seconds. And then the restoration starts and the database is also restored. And you shouldn't close this window while it's working. It would be a bad idea to close it. If you're unlucky, you might have to do it all over again if you mess up the database. And I've set it up so that this window stays open as well. This software always opens that window so you get feedback on what's actually happening. So now my Paperless has been restored. Let's take a look. Don't create an account. No, I want to start it like this. Admin. And there are my documents. So I've now installed Paperless with this program. If Docker isn't installed, the program tells me you need to install Docker. Then you can download it because the program redirects you to the download page. Then you can install Docker, then you can start the program again, and then you can use this program to install Paperless. And then you can import your backup into this freshly installed Paperless. So that was one thing. It seems to be working perfectly fine for now. So I am going to go ahead and open up the task scheduler tool here on my computer. And this is the task scheduler library. And there aren't any major tasks scheduled here, except for a few update things like Brave update, VCL, VLC plus update. That's scheduled here as a task, and that's what task scheduler is for. Here too, so that you can automatically trigger things, you have to set it up a bit accordingly. That's how Task Scheduler works, and Paperless Backup is not included here. Now I'll open my program. I'll just take this one here. This is an old program. I'll just park it here for now. And I'll get my new desktop, Zach, not cut, but copy, because it needs to stay there. So when I open the program now, it starts up and always the Task Scheduler. I'll make it a bit smaller so it doesn't get on my nerves, and I've already created a first backup. The software is missing, so I can go into the backup planning. Let's take a look. It's now 11:08 a.m. Then I'll turn on the SIT. Oh, right, I didn't make a backup recently. I only did the restoration first, so I'll make a backup first now. And not a paperless backup, but a drive backup, paperless backup. Before this task scheduling, before this works here, a first backup needs to be made. There's no other way, so that the scripts and everything else can be generated. So now a first backup will be made. I hadn't done that yet. After the restoration. Next, in this paperless backup program folder, a variety of additional scripts and configuration settings will be added. Installation completed, volume info, backup paths, backup, destination. All this data, or rather these documents, will still be generated here, which will then serve as configuration documents. Okay, and now I can go ahead and select backup scheduling. Now this checkbox actually works too. Today is Saturday, the 2nd. August, so let's choose Saturday. Let's check that. And then it's 11:10 a.m., 11:11 a.m., 11:11 a.m. Create backup plan. And now this backup plan has been created. F5, and there it is, paperless backup. And now we'll just wait until the clock hits 11. Then the script should pop up here and create a backup, and specifically where the last backup was made. On drive D, a backup will then be created, because it has remembered exactly where I basically put the folder or the last backup. So there it goes. Here too, I decided that the window should open and stay open so you can see, a backup has been started. Let's just let it run. Of course, with a huge paperless, this can take a very, very long time. You have to decide for yourself whether you want to do it automatically or if you prefer to remember to do it manually. Maybe later I'll make it so that the script doesn't open right away. For now, since I don't have a test team, I have to do it this way so that the user gets some feedback. So the backup has been started, it was unlocked. Written is the wrong word here. A backup log was created, backup completed at 11:09, 11:11. Backup target, the PayPal backup. Now let's take a look. Where are the settings? It works, so the plan works. And now let's take a look at the backup. This is the backup program again. We don't need that now. So let's go to drive D, where the backups are stored. PayPal backup. Now we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 folders. 4 items are displayed. Now, if I open my paperless backup program, I'll drag it over here so you can see how many folders there are. But it looks silly. I want to make it look nice. There you go. Now you can see that there are 4 folders. And if I now select backup retention, currently all backups are being retained. And if I now select 1, 2, 3 retention, save, and then create a backup, the following preset path was found. The paperless backup. Should the backup be saved here? Yes, it should. And then the script starts, and now the backup is being created here, and only after the backup has finished running will it clean up. Now in the background, the containers are being stopped, things are being done, and the backups are being made. You can still see the script running, and when it's finished, you'll get a confirmation that the backup has been created. And only after I have clicked OK on this confirmation will the procedure be triggered to start searching here. It will look for the oldest backups, and as said, 3 should remain. Yes, that is correct, and then the older files will be automatically deleted. Backup completed successfully. You can now safely close the program. Okay, now the procedure is officially triggered, and now only 3 backups remain in the folder. And the same process works just as well. Just for the sake of this demonstration, I'll do it right here. Copy, paste, 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 and then rename this one to -31. Rename the next to -32. Rename this last one, and finally -30. So they will also be sorted accordingly. That's really great. And if I now say create a backup plan, it's 11:15. Let's make it 11:16. If I can still make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, created 16, bam, turn it off. And if it now suddenly jumps up to the number 16, the script should start. And after the script is finished, everything should be cleaned up as well. And if that works now, then I think I'm done with this video here too. And if there's a problem now and things aren't cleaned up, then I'll be tearing my hair out. Then I'll have to use my development computer and check what's actually causing the problem. why it's not working now. And debugging, that's also quite an extensive task. Often, when you have to debug software to figure out why something isn't working, you can also, the script started. Johannes Krebs starts 7 elements. How does the approach work here, coming from old Chakil? Does it work? Only 3 backups are being made to your home. Very nice. Now I'll just add another one. 3 backups are set up. Yes, 3 backups are set up. Now let's just set it to 4 here. Save the selection, set the backup plan to 17 and close it. And then you go back in here again. So if crypt starts now, then actually nothing should be deleted, because I want to keep a lot of calls. And as I said, at the moment, I still have to let these windows open. I can't just let it run in the background unattended. To be able to do this backup properly, the container also has to be shut down. In this case, for me, it's set up so that the containers are shut down. And Paperless doesn't work during this time. And if you have a 10 gigabyte backup, for example, then Paperless won't work for quite a while, so I don't know if it makes sense to set up the backup plan so that it definitely runs after working hours, and preferably not while I'm working. So we've now seen that this new backup tool can first check if Docker is installed, and if not, it redirects you to the Docker download page. If that's the case, you install Docker, then you start this backup program again, and the program offers to install Paperless for you, installs Paperless, lets you create a new user, and you can use and operate Paperless as usual. Or you can choose to restore a backup. For example, if I want to install it on another computer now, I don't have to worry about anything at first. I take this program, put it on a new computer, and start it up. And then the program tells me what I need to do or not do. And that should be the whole point of this, which is why I included the installation routine as well, so that Paperless can be installed, used, backed up, and restored as easily and efficiently as possible. And there is really not much more I can do right now, simply because I just do not have the time to spend weeks coding until everything is perfected, so that everything runs smoothly in the background without any interruptions or issues. It works, it reliably creates backups for me. I can use it to move my Paperless to other systems. It also works on Windows Server. I've tested it, and for now, that's the end of the matter for me. And if the Docker Compose file needs to be changed again in the background, the one that's generated here, you no longer have to copy it from my website. It's generated by the program here and copied to the appropriate location. Overall, it's pretty easy to handle now. I'm going to release the tool now on my website. Here is how you can install Paperless-ngx on a Windows computer. Then download the Paperless backup program. And then my download page will open here. There are 71 downloads now. That's not a lot. And now I'll upload the new version here. And the website also looks terrible. That's what I mean. I really have absolutely no time at all. I can't even properly design the website here. So I've now decided once again to do the following here. I'm going to wipe my Docker setup here and just stop the container right now. I am going to completely remove the whole Paperless setup from my computer. Then I will delete it completely, and I'll also delete the volumes, and I'll remove all of the associated images as well, and throw all of that out. Now it's really, yes, completely empty. There's nothing left. And I'm shutting down Docker, the virtual machine. And now Docker is basically gone. Then the Paperless software, I'll leave that on. And I'll also leave the Paperless backup here for now, because there's a backup in here. Properties, which is 3.2 gigabytes in size and contains 1,500 documents. I'll just leave that here for now, but I'll delete the Paperless input folder. And I'll rename this file, rename it to my Paperless backup, and I'll move it over here. So, and then I'll go into my user folder and delete the folder. Paperless backup program, those are all the settings, so that means now I've now downloaded this Paperless backup program from my official website, and I do not currently have Docker. Nor do I have any Paperless installation. I have nothing. I'm really starting from scratch. Or I'm migrating to a computer that doesn't have Docker or Paperless installed yet, so I'm starting my Paperless setup there. So now I launch the software, and the window tells me that Docker is not present. If you now click OK, the Docker desktop download website will open, and you can just download Docker desktop from there. So let's do that. Okay, boom. Then the website opens, and now I can download and install it here. Now download AMD 64 for Windows, then you would download it, and that's what I've done now. So now I've installed Docker, and Docker is running, but there's nothing inside this Docker yet. Now I've got everything prepared so that I can install my Paperless. We don't have any containers, images, or volumes yet, so I'll start my Paperless backup program again, welcome once more, blah 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 in the paperless backup program. Now I can install Docker Paperless here, so I click on it to install Paperless. Do you want to install Paperless now? Yes. Now the Paperless input folder is being created for you, and then the corresponding containers are being pulled and then downloaded here. It's a bit annoying, but that's how they're downloaded. Of course, it takes some time until all the containers are downloaded. So now we wait. Now it says not responding here because the script is currently blocking this application. Basically, we just have to wait now until all the containers are downloaded. The images include the database, PostgreSQL, Gutenberg, Broker, Tika, Redis, Box, Paperless itself, and Alpine. That's what we need here. In this case, everything is for this Paperless Redis box setup, which we can remove later if needed. I might have to check. These aren't gigabytes where you'd have to worry. Docker doesn't use up so many resources that I couldn't handle it, so it's fine to just leave it like this for now. And the nice thing is that this program here takes care of everything itself. You don't have to download a Docker Compose file. You don't have to manage it yourself. You also don't have to go into the folder in the shell with cd using Docker Desktop. You also don't have to run Docker Compose upd yourself. The software does all of that automatically, and it ensures that a fresh, new, properly set up Paperless is simply installed. I will wait until it is finished. As you can see here, it is still going to take a while longer. And while it's downloading here, if you look in the folder, the Paperless backend program is already there, as well as Docker Compose. It's currently being processed here, Docker Compose. Okay, it's currently stored right here, so the Docker Compose file is located right here in this folder. And there are small configuration files being generated here that the program needs to function. I could have easily put all of this into the main application settings, but as I said, since my time is quite limited, I just solved it here using these simple text files, which are then grabbed and accessed and read. So at some point, everything will be fully downloaded, your pull or whatever. And when that is finally the case, the containers will be started and created accordingly. All the volumes are created, the containers are successfully started, and then Paperless should just work perfectly. Paperless was successfully installed and started. You can now open Paperless in your browser. Give Paperless a little time to start up, of course. In the background, the database is started, Paperless is started, all systems are booted up and running. Once that's the case, I can simply click on localhost 8080 here. And then the browser opens with the fresh new blank installation of Paperless, where you can create your account here. But since I have a large backup from another computer, I don't want to create an account here now. I would just delete it right away anyway, so I'll just say, okay, fine. Message understood. Paperless has been installed, and now the first thing I want to do is restore my Paperless backup that I have from another computer. So I go here to desktop, that's where my Paperless backup is, and here is the backup. It's 3.20 gigabytes in size, boom, and the restore process starts. Then the CMD window opens again here and the containers are stopped. This script was generated by this Paperless backup program. It now handles the process of copying and importing all the essential data from my Paperless backup folder into my completely fresh and brand new Paperless installation. You can already see here there are PDFs, ODTs, docx files, there's all sorts of things included. There are more than 1,500 different documents, and I actually left it exactly in this state, so that this window here clearly demonstrates that something is happening. If nothing happens here for 6, 7, or 8 hours, then something seems to be wrong. But I've now tested this on different computers in the lab, on the computer, on my development machine, on Windows servers running on VirtualBox. It worked flawlessly everywhere. So I would be very surprised if it suddenly doesn't work for you. It's important to remember that this is Windows software, and Linux users, hardcore Linux users, they don't need a tool like this, they do it with commands, but it's still the case that most people use Windows. And this program is meant for those people so that this PayPal data can be secured, transferred, installed, and migrated as easily as possible. That's exactly what this program was made for. Of course, we're talking about 3 gigabytes that are being imported now. And yes, once that's done, then here, my PayPal should also work properly, so the restoration has been completed. Now the database is being restored and the SQL script is being imported into the database. It's absolutely essential that this window is not closed during the process. So that the tool can work properly, things are being processed here now. Unused volumes are deleted, systems are started, and the restoration is complete. Now let's take a look. What do you do next? PayPal is the tool needs to go. Now I can log in. There are 1,543 documents in here. Wonderful. I won't show the documents now. 82% are PDF, 10% ODT, 5% DOC, 1% TXT, about 0.1% are brought, and another 0.1% are other types. Correspondence have already been created, text has been created, and document types have been set up. Everything seems to be there. I'm not opening it now because there are actually very sensitive documents in here. The fact is that the restoration worked and would work again. I'll do it, let's take a look, but I guess as long as it pays off, I'll check it out then. All the documents are there just as they should be. Now, after I performed the restoration here, I did the following. I'm now creating a backup so that in my user folder, the paperless backup program, the scripts and files are created and generated so that I can use them later as well. Because right now, no matter how much I click, I can't use it since I haven't made an initial backup yet. So now I'm creating a backup here and I'm selecting the paperless backup. The folder could now be created automatically here, so we wouldn't have to worry about that either. But I have Drive D. And today I'm putting the paperless backup right into this folder. Done. Now you can see here that more files have been created and a new backup is being generated. Here too, we wait again, and this window also gives feedback about what is actually being backed up right now. And again, it takes some time because it's about 3 gigabytes in size, or 3.2 gigabytes by the end of the backup, but all the configuration files are included as well. Once the feedback appears here that it's been imported, another file will be created here. The backup plan script will then be generated here as well, but it takes a long time, and then the containers will be restarted. Then the database will be started, and once PayPal really starts, it should all be done. Done. After this first backup has run through completely, these files here are basically complete as well. Now I can activate the plan here, create a plan, because the plan, it needs to know exactly where to back up, how to back up, and which scripts to start with. Therefore, it had to be properly entered and configured. So the first backup is absolutely essential to gather all the system variables so that the plan can work automatically on its own. Storage. I can now say here that 3 are the limit in my case. 7. GB OK save for storage. And now the IMA configuration settings or the storage data will be retained right here. 3. If I now also configure a specific scheduled event for Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, the plan will be automatically registered and saved within the task scheduler, and also into the configuration ini settings file. Saturday is scheduled for 1 hour and 10 minutes 0. And that's how it's arranged now. You can also manually edit this setting here now. He goes to the program, closes it, edits the setting here and says Friday 1. On Wednesday, set 1 for 11:15 in the morning. Click Save and then open up the system backup program for 11:15. Wednesday, Saturday, Friday, that's exactly how it read it out here as well. But for me, it should be Saturday at 10:15. Save. And then the schedule is entered into the task scheduler. And then let's take a look at the task scheduler, and here is the paperless backup program. Let's enlarge it now. Weekly, 10:15 every Saturday, starting from the 2nd of August. And when I then open it, then the trigger and which action start program, everything is basically done with this schedule. Yes, created and generated. And when the backup plan, when the task scheduler starts the program, it tells the program here that it's an automatic start. It recognizes that and then works here in the background and starts itself. Then this button here is triggered. Yes, and then it works. Yes, that's what I just wanted to quickly show again. I had already shown everything before. Now I basically showed a migration again. And with that, my video is finished for now and my PayPal list is running here with its 1,543 documents. And with that, everything is nice and tidy. Thank you, and I wish you a great day.